Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations That Matter. Today, with me for you is Biju Kannappan, author of upcoming book, a great book that we will be talking about during this conversation. And not only, we will be talking about finding the vision, purpose, leading to effective and inspirational leadership. Welcome, Biju, and thank you very much for being here today with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Magdalena. It is really pleasure and happy to be with you and, talk. It is not just talking, it is all about, I'm just sharing but at the same time, I am looking to learn from you most. That is what my intention here.
I think here we all will learn from you. I had a privilege, Biju has shared with me the book that is coming this month, end of this month. And from the first moment I started to read it, it was just phenomenal. The journey that Biju is taking us, and I'm really excited that we will be talking about, and I do hope we will learn more from behind the scenes, what was happening about the book. Discover your purpose, driven, inspired vision, elevate your life, and play the bigger game. The title is just packed with so many ideas that I, as a reader, before I started to read the book, said, oh my God, it must be something phenomenal. And indeed it is. Tell me, please, what was the moment you have realized this book must be written?
Currently, when we are looking at, what is happening in our world and in our families, I'm seeing that we are most of the people are not living actually. They are trying to live. And everyone everyone is so busy, but they don't know where they are going. So, in 2023, I thought I wanted to make a pause. I wanted to think deeply. Then, this particular topic came to my mind and I started to work on it. Actually, I never expected to, publish this book this month. I thought I wanted to publish only in 2028 when I implement it in my life in full sense. Okay, currently I may be implementing something 50 or 60 percentage. And my intention was that I wanted to implement whatever the idea I'm talking in true sense. And it will take around 3 years to make that possible. Then I will share with the world. That's what I was thinking. But whatever the things are happening in the world, happening in the families, lot of suicide, lot of conflict, I thought it is better. I will share with others. And, at the same time, I can take help from other people to implement on this concept, because this, whatever the point I am discussing, it is not easy to implement alone. We need a support system. We need somebody to understand us. And in that way, only this concept can be applied. Otherwise, we will live just as a normal. That's what my observation.
You are talking about support. Why do you think, because that's what I have observed as well, are we afraid? Can be. We are afraid to talk about our struggles. Why do you think it is like that? That we as a human beings, people who are living their lives, struggles are something normal, yet we are afraid to talk about, to share with others about them.
Yes, that is an interesting thing, because if I look at, the perspective from India, we are in a hierarchical structure and we have the notion that the man should be powerful. He should not cry. He should not take help from other people. He has to live alone. he has to take it everything, his own head or hands. He has to move with it. And with respect to ladies, is it entirely different way. She is only to suffer everything. She should not talk about anything. She should be simply suffering, and other person should be, take all the charge. That way, we have been conditioned. But I believe the new generation is much better in that perspective. They are very open. They are, they don't care about what other people are thinking, what, those things they are never care about. So I thought that may be the better opportunity also for me to also talk about my weakness, my strength, and whatever the thing. Earlier, I was keeping it, not sharing with anyone, but I thought this may be the better opportunity. We can be living, in an authentic life.
Very interesting you say about the differences, the generational differences. Yesterday, actually, I had an experience to face these two differences. The first one was during the class with students, and I was asking, what is your personal unique value? And one of the students said, being straightforward. So that corresponds what you have just said. And later during the day, I had a conversation with friends, and we were talking exactly about the relationships and about how mothers were made, that no matter what is happening in the house, they need to take it. They have no space to say about their feelings, to say about even their dreams, the way, what they wish for. They have to take it in silence. And yeah, the generational perceptions will have most probably somehow impact on the way how we see. And we, our generation, have to deal with that. You start your book, and I hope you don't mind. I have prepared that. I would like to read it because it touched me very much, and I would like to hear from you more because I believe there is so much we can learn from it. The whisper before the storm. It began with a smile, not mine, his. A friend whose laughter could light a city, whose eyes held more dreams than doubt. And then, one day, he disappeared, gone, into a silence I will never fully understand. No goodbye, no warning, just an absence that rewired my entire world. He wasn't the only one. 3 friends, 3 funerals, 3 cracks in the foundations of who I thought I was. Each time the universe asked me the same haunting question. What if you could have reached them in time? What if they knew they mattered? What if they had one reason to stay? I couldn't change their endings, but I made a vow. No one around me would ever feel that alone again. I have a goosebumps, even if now I think for 20th time I'm reading that poem. It says so much.
So, actually speaking, he was my one of the very best friend. I used to talk every week. And one point in time, I went into a chaos and I couldn't call him. After 1 or 2 months, I came to know that he's no more. It was really surprising thing, because he was always smiling. I never seen him any bad mood or anything. He was always smiling. At one moment, he is no more. It is big surprise for me actually that time. And I used to, even though I believe he passed away now almost 18 years. But I used to think every day about them. And, one other guy, we were studying together in engineering college. I got a job through campus interview. This guy didn't get a job and he went to Bangalore and he was staying with my classmate who are already working there. And he was trying the job for 3 months. He was not getting any job. And last interview, he was attending, and he hoped that he would be getting that job. And he was expecting, that time there is no internet and all, he was expecting the postal order. And one morning, he got fed up. When my friends went to office, he committed the suicide. But the tragedy is that next day morning he got the appointment letter. How do you think that? Just 24 hours. He could have waited, right? Just 24 hours. So when I am looking at these things, I don't know what people are thinking about themselves. We are, but how do we treat ourselves? How do we think about ourselves? That matters.
Yeah.
And
When for the first time I read it,
so,
it took me, how we are focused on our own life. A friend is writing, "How are you doing?" And you just look at the phone. "Oh, I will reply her tomorrow because today I have no time." But sometimes this "how are you doing" is this the last call for attention. And like you mentioned earlier, there are so many suicides happening, and the people are lost so much, and more are lost in their reality. Do you think it's related to this economical race, the civilization growth that we are speeding up, and this whole sociological environment is making us somehow self-centered? Yet we are not aware, we are losing connection with ourselves.
yes, that is true. We are more self-centered and more materialistic. That may be, I may put it as, because we are not sensible to emotions. We are not sensible to, it is very, what I mean to say that when we are not able to connect with the emotion, then there is no point in life. There is no point in our life. We are not able to connect with the emotion of other people. And if I look at myself, I talked to only very less people in my life, and I don't have much interaction with not only people, not much exposure. But I was able to write this book because of a different capability from myself. I call it as empathy, because I am able to feel anybody else. That was the capability I built from my childhood. And because of that reason, even though I have only limited connection, I was able to come up with this kind of a book. And, but the most of the people, I think everyone having that empathy, but some way around, they are forgetting themselves and, just getting into the self-centered, or just thinking that we wanted to flow, we will just go flow in a flow. That's all.
And within that, we are making ourselves not available for those who are important for us until, the connection is lost. Your book is about finding the purpose, understanding how we can inspire ourselves, self-empowerment, and wonderfully leading the reader to the leadership in the organization. You yourself, as a person with a huge work business experience, as an executive person who worked with many people, as you say, You understand people. You have that capability in you to understand and feel, having empathy for the people. How did you find your purpose as an executive, as a leader in the workplace or environment? Before we go to
So,
the personal purpose, I
yeah,
just want to ask
understand.
for.
So basically, I always, because if it a business means, we are serving our customer, and the customer having pains, they have aspiration, and we are helping them to make that possible. So always, I thought it in that point only. He is a customer, whether it is an organization or an individual, they have their own pain point, and they have aspiration. How can I support for them? So that was the thing, I used to think about it. Even in my office job, one day I conducted a call 19 hours straight. 19 hours, 9 hours straight without any break.
One call.
Yes, one call.
What was the call about that it took 19
Yeah, so
hours?
basically we were migrating very important and critical system. And, while we are doing the migration, we got some glitches and we have to resolve it as soon as possible because it is going to impact that time, Google was owning Motorola Mobility Company. Now that is part of Lenovo, and, it is going to impact their, operation. So we have to restore it in within, there was some 24 hours. Within 24 hours, we have to restore it. So we had no other choice. We have to work just like that and made it, and we reverted it. Everything was perfect. So what I mean to say that I just thought only that thing, what is going to happen to my customer or their customer? How do I serve them? So just 19 hours straight, I was sitting in my office. I having two two conference bridges and my mobile. I don't know whatever I am doing. But that is what I am saying. This empathy was really, my biggest strength. And based on that, I used to work with people, whether it is my team members or my manager, whatever it is.
What was the first purpose that was your drive? The personal or through the lens of work?
So that when in respect to professional, I only look into that professional way through the business angle.
Hmm.
But in coming to my personal, I will look into the personal way. But both are integrated, It is we cannot separate it both. That's what my belief.
We cannot, but I'm actually asking, from my own perspective
Mm-hmm.
and my own experience, and also many people with whom I had the pleasure to discuss that when we are growing in certain environment, and our mindset sometimes is ending in a blurred mode. You are following certain values, certain duties that you need to apply in your life, and then you are experiencing, you go to work, and the work is completely different world at the same time. You are discovering yourself in a very different light. And for me, work was kind of place where I discovered very different values and principles I followed. Yet in a personal life, they did not really match at the beginning. It took time that I was able to shift the strength that I had in my workplace. I could shift the confidence into my personal life.
Understand. Got it. So basically, I always believed in that professional life or personal life, all are integrated.
Hmm.
So I treated in that way only always.
The values, yes, for both ways are absolutely, that's integration is a very important thing.
Yeah, so the values also I took, so basically, I may put it in a very simple way, SALT, salt. Okay, salt is very much significance with respect to labor also, right?
Yeah.
When we are working, right? It is salt. So basically my salt philosophy, that those values I am carrying is S means service. We are here to do service for others. Whether I am working in a company, whatever it is, right? It is a service. And A means authenticity. You have to be authentic. If you say something, you are bound to do that. And if you are doing something, you have to say that. Nothing else. There is no coloring, no other thing. And next is you have to be a leader. The leader means somebody who my definition is take 100% ownership. There is no excuses. There is no blame. Just 100% ownership. So that is what L. And next is trust. Without trust, nothing will happen. For a human being, my analogy is that trust is like a water for a fish. If there is no water, the fish, what will happen to the fish, right? So like that only the trust also. So that trust only, help us to grow, help us to build whatever the thing. But it is a trust is, we cannot make it in one day. It is an ongoing process. So what I mean to say that this is what SALT, that's what always following me in my career, throughout my career. I used to, in my almost 27 years of my career, I worked almost 20 years, 24/7.
Oh,
That means I worked almost my all project,
heavy.
everything in the same manner. It is
Is it
interesting.
possible that you can actually work so much and then in the personal aspect, your mindset to be kept healthy?
Why I could work in that mode? Because most of the time I was away from my family. So because I don't have anything else to do, right? Because my family is living in, almost 700, 600 kilometer away.
Mm.
So I have nothing, right? So I was used to custom to that, work in that way always. And all the project, whatever I am getting in the same way, always. Even though in my last organization, I supposed to work India time. Okay. But there also I worked 24/7. My company says you should work only India time. That means 9 to 7 or 9 to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. That's what my company policy. But I used to work from 5:30 to 12 a.m.
Bringing or building the bridge towards the book, what was your personal purpose to start writing the book? Because I understood that the personal events that had happened, your awareness, but is it also connected with your experience as an executive, as a leader, that drove you in a personal manner? Okay, I need to write that book.
So yeah, let me be frank. I have written this book for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. To serve yourself.
True to 100%, I have written this book for me. That is what I told you. My intention was to release it only on 2028. Because whatever I have written, I will practice it in true sense. That was my intention actually. But later I thought I have to share other people because the way I wanted to start my company, to build my company. It will not happen if people are aligned in the same thinking process. So then that is the reason, I thought I wanted to share with the world.
You are bringing the first part of the book is very much focusing on us, is guiding us through various poems, stories, that you are sharing, which are really empowering and immediately rewiring the focus on me, on the reader. And how did it help you to write the book? Because most of it is about the mindset shift, and it really does. Just by reading, it does. But how it was with you, the experience, the process of writing the book?
Okay. So I wanted to bring one another context here. When I was, I believe 6 plus 5 plus 4, around 10 years old, I was a school leader, and I used to take oath. We will say that India is my country, all Indians are my brothers and sisters, something like that. We used to take oath with respect to that pledge. And that day, I came to know that India is a developing country. And sadly, after 39 or 38 years, India is still a developing country. So I thought, and most of the people in India believe that everything has to be done by government. I think that notion is not correct, because when I observe other countries, especially China, that the China government has made an ecosystem, but everything has been, the major shift happened when there so much entrepreneurs that took the battle and they developed that country. So that is why in this book, I am initially talking about our personal, but I wanted to take into the organization, or I wanted to take into the leadership. Because of that reason, I'm looking at more and more people are empowered and they are ready to take new roles as an entrepreneur or business leaders, and that will help the country to grow. Because India is amazing potential with respect to human resource, and we are not using our people. And this has to be an opportunity. That is the reason, I took it in the book into that particular shape.
Especially that we are talking about leadership. We can see there are gaps in the principles and how they are used in practice. We have the theories, and we have them plenty. Yet, surprisingly, the practice is not really aligned with those theories. And we can see that in statistics. We can see that in wherever we go, almost in every organization, we will have employees that they are not even know what is their potential. They are there at work just because they need to pay the bill. So we are somehow bringing back today in 21st century the whole concept of work and having the satisfying life to the bottom line of the Maslow pyramid. Almost everybody that I need to work to pay my bills, and it doesn't matter if we are having this low salary or a big salary. Yeah, because bigger salary, people are immediately are surrounding themselves with better qualities goods that are more expensive. So it again creating in me, I need to work more, I need to earn more to be able to pay for all these goods. But the leadership itself in practice is not good. And it's beautifully what you are showing in the book and even saying is bringing us back to the beginning of the conversation, that we are losing ourselves.
I was, bringing some other, some fundamental shift with respect to money. And I brought a framework called I money.
Yeah.
So I money, one way you can take it that I am the money also. But I am talking about the transformative power of that money. I'm not talking just as a cash or something, because the I money framework says that money is nothing but what is the value we are creating or happiness we are creating to other people's life. That's all. It is all about money. Money is that's all. How do we create value to other people's life? And how much value we are creating, accordingly, we are getting the benefit out of it. So whether it is a leader, whether it is an employee, it is so simple how they create value. If they are ready to create more value, they can earn more money. That's all. So for that, what they have to do? They have to build their capabilities. When they embrace a growth mindset, they can easily build their capabilities. And now, with respect to the practice of leadership, the problem is that we are taking theory as a theory and practical is something else. That's a problem. I will tell you one simple example. One day I was talking to my friend. He invested very huge amount in stock market.
Mm.
And now in India, stock market is down. So he is in so much loss and he's not able to sleep. All the things are happening. Then I asked him, he's basically a project manager. Do you know sunk cost in project management? He told, yes, I know. And you are applying the sunk cost in your project. Why are you not applying in your personal thing?
Mm.
Correct? So in professional life, using different standard, and personal life, we are using different standard. And in practically, what will happen, instead of, we are not seeing theory is really a practicable thing, but we are taking model from somebody else and assuming that this is the way we wanted to work. That is what happening. So we are not ready to embrace theory as a practical, because even when we do experiment in physics lab or whatever the lab, right? We follow the theory and we are practicing, we are getting the result, right? So why we cannot do leadership here also in that way?
Do you think it is related that we do have certain limitations in us to be honest, authentic within ourselves? I'm not talking about towards others, but within ourselves, to say loud and acknowledge certain limitations, weaknesses.
So I do believe that that is coming from our education system.
Mm.
So in education system, they never teach us be authentic. They wanted to put it as a frame, right? Our teachers wanted us in a frame or in a box. We have to behave, we have to think, we have to work in that way. They are not allowing us for be an authentic person. So that we are having, cascaded effect on our life. That is what happening, I believe.
It's interesting what you say about education and that we are raised in a way how we should behave, and because it's collective subject, and like you say, we are told how we should be. So suddenly we wake up grown-ups, and quite often it has nothing to do with our real being. We are just shaped upon the surrounding us environment. And then we are talking about being authentic, yet we might have problem to be authentic because we don't understand the concept. Okay, how can I be authentic? What does it mean? What are the tools that can help me to find myself, this true me? And I believe your book, that is really packed with various frameworks, can help. About the frameworks, you have mentioned about the money, but what are the frameworks that we can't talk about all of them because there are too many, and definitely it would be too big spoiler to our readers, to our audience. But which framework resonates with you the most? If you can just go through the retrospective.
So the one of the important framework I believe in that book is I call it as self-worth. Because we are defining ourselves some material object or something like that. But my understanding is that we are far, far beyond that. And right now, I don't know how many people can understand or experience that. If you look at, we can hear or we can see only less than 1% of things happening in the world, only less than 1%. Now, how do we reach a conclusion about ourselves with that much data, only that much data? That is what my question. We can hear and see only less than, practically speaking, 0.07% and 0.0 something else. That means at least less than 1% only we can hear and we can see. Then how do we reach in conclusion, who are we? That's what my question. So the important aspect is, I call it, I wanted to say that the one of the framework I wanted to project is I self-worth. Who are we? And what does it mean that our own existence itself, even though we are not doing, we are just exist, that itself a tremendous value, because that is giving us tremendous opportunity to understand ourselves and experience ourselves. So that is what most of the people are missing out.
It resonates with me a lot because I do work around the self-leadership. We are both experts around the leadership, and I also believe that there is something before we need to do the work around. It is ourselves, the creating, defining our purpose, structuring our vision, and first to be kind of leader in our own personal world. And then automatically we become more integrated with our values, a leader in the organizational workspace. When you talk about that people are missing out, what I could observe, and I wonder what is your take on that, people like to have quick results. They do not have a patience for it. Whatever results you want to achieve, it requires work, dedication. I will not talk about the discipline. It's overrated in my understanding, because everyone shall find own pace towards the change. But people want to have the quick results, but then they somehow reject that any value to be brought up requires time. And this is where the failures are coming.
One of my observation is that it is some way it is the influence of social media, because people are hiding what really happening in the background and projecting something else and giving some sort of illusion to other people that we can just things are getting done very easy. But life will never go as you mentioned, right? Things will never go that way, because we have to be a different person to achieve something. We cannot be the same person and I wanted to have that type of thing. That's not going to happen. If you are a different person, you will get different set of things, different set of outcome. So you wanted to move from first level of the building to second level, you have to be a different person. But people are thinking that I will be in the first level, but I will get whatever I wanted in 10th level. That is not going to happen.
Along the frameworks that you are sharing in the book, again, I like them all, but one took my attention specifically. It was read. The relationship, energy, and deeds. The way how you bring that concept, it was most probably it's connecting with me because it's the way how I am looking at the things. But the way how you brought that, I really can't wait when the readers will go through them, because it's so simple way of opening our eyes. I usually say lead your life to create a daily narrative. So you do have some the value that you are creating on a daily basis. We are counting the time from 1st of January till end of the year, and we are celebrating. So when you are ending this year, you know that you have created a wonderful values. And then I read your framework, Read. Can you tell us about that framework?
Yeah, that read is, really an interesting framework because we are always talk about success and we don't know how to measure it. So, and the read word, how do I use it? That in olden Egypt, they were using some measuring instrument. They call it as something read. So that is why I just wanted to put that word here. And so when I look at, right, if we don't have energy, we don't have health, what else remaining? Nothing, right? So we are so much brilliant, we have so much PhD, or we have, whatever the thing we have, we don't have health, gone, nowhere. The similar way, if we don't have relationship, that is also right. Because I believe the people in the world mostly got affected, they're feeling that they are alone. That is the biggest thing in our world. So I want people to understand real meaning of relationship, whether with our parents, whether with our wife, whether with our kids, other with our friends. We should really understand that value bring to our life, tremendous thing. So but at this moment, as you told, right, the people are searching, they wanted to get a quick result. So in that journey, they forgot about relationship at all. I worked in, any company, but sadly, I also didn't follow. That is why I written this book. Not much connection, we can say that they are with us because we wanted to have deliver the project thing. That's all. That is the short-term relation we have. After that, we forget everything. So because of that reason, I brought the word called connectedness. Connectedness means a long-standing, meaningful, and depth relationship, deep relationship. So how do we build that type of relationship? That is what the cornerstone of our life. How do we build that type of relation with my spouse, my kid, my boss, that make entire life changed? Some people used to tell me, no, you cannot have friends in business. But there are a lot of examples, right? If you look at Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they were friends, they were business partners. That is possible. But the people are saying, no, that is not practical. But they made it practical, right? And we are not ready to see that type of example in our life. When I was, in 2005, I was reading the book Stephen R. Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That made all the foundation for whatever work I did with this book. The foundation is coming from that book. And he and his wife having wonderful relationship, right? Their relationship existed more than 40 years. That is what guiding me always. Even though I have fight with my wife, I always take reference with them. How they survived, how they excelled in their life. 40 years, 40 plus years as a husband and wife. Then why I cannot do that way? That's what I always thinking. So What I'm trying to tell that the relationship has very impact on our life, but we are taking it very lightly.
Yeah.
Sadly, I had, with respect to my grandmother, I had very, very deep relationship. And, she was really epitome of unconditional love for me. She never expected anything from me. She loved me so much. And I felt it that way. But my kids are not at all feeling with their grandmother. I don't know what is happening. So that is the reason I thought I wanted to write this book. I wanted to practice in my family all the way. Because so, and the last read thing, our energy, our health, and our relationship, and whatever we do, right? That matters. If we do something not making other person happy, then what is the point? What we are doing? So that is why I came up with the framework. But we can make life very simple. I believe we can make very simple.
It is very simple, right? I also believe it is very simple. It is just requires somehow kind of maturity. And one of the elements in that maturity will be communication. Like you mentioned,
Very true.
especially the relationship, the first relationship we start is with ourselves. How do we treat ourselves? What kind of integrity, again, integrity we are developing? What kind of values and purposes we are driven by? It's very important. And then how we are creating this whole spectrum of understanding, belonging within the relationships with other people, in the beloved ones. For me, and it's very crucial. And unfortunately, what is another element that I can see quite a lot, people are not well equipped to communicate healthy and effectively. People are driven by own personal desires, which, nota bene, they are not capable to express themselves purely and clearly. And because of that limitation, quite often in personal life, it turns into the argument or silence treatment. In the organizational construct, it will be the punishment, it will be the use of the power of title. And this is terrifying.
The point is, first thing is any communication start with our self-worth. If we not valuing ourselves, we will not able to speak what is required, the required time. So it is all about, as you mentioned earlier, it is all about how do we build relation with ourselves? How do we heal ourselves? Whatever happened in the past, we are able to look at through a third eye and see the things, what is the benefit it has been brought into us, and what is the disadvantage also brought into us. And we have to equilibrate this both side, and we see the what is possibility. When we are ready to see that possibility, then we have the confidence. When we have the confidence, we can talk to anybody. So that is what reality. So how do we build our relation with ourselves? That is it matters.
And when we talk about that integration and looking for the higher value in our life, going back to the book, have you experienced the moment of giving up while writing the book? You mentioned you are writing that book for yourself, so I can assume there will be different principles that are within that work. But yeah, still, have you had these moments? Oh, it doesn't make sense. I give up. I stop.
Actually, sometimes I felt, but I brought up in a mind in such a way that I can handle it. So I used to practice, especially, this empathizing with myself or visualization, all the thing I used to practice. So because of that reason, I was able to cope up with whatever it is coming up, even though people are rejecting my idea. Because, definitely, right, we will always look for validity from other side. But
Yes.
one point in time, I stopped it because they are not able to understand what I am talking. Then what is the point, we seek validity from them? You understand, right? If they
Yes.
are not understanding what I am talking, then why, what is the point that I am seeking validation from their point? There is no point. So I reached into that level. Then it was easy, to go with this journey, because when I started to develop in a different concept, I talk to people in that way. But people will say that this is not practical. What you are saying is not practical. That is what always I hear from people. It is not practical. Whatever the concept I put it, they will say this we cannot practice in our life.
I see here strong connection with what you have said earlier. There is no friendship in business. And I believe when we become adults and we are indeed driven by purpose, this is where we are landing safe, building the relationships with other business people. And like you said, people, I agree with you. We are just human beings and we want to be seen. We want to receive applause for the work we do, for who we are actually. And when we speak with wrong audience, there are two ways. Either we give up or we wake up and realizing it's not the audience I need to speak. I need to speak with the people who are going through the similar experience as I am going through right now.
It's
And
very true. That is what I found you.
yes. And I'm very, very happy, to like-minded people to connect. And I really believe that, we are having our life, and sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware. But if there is a purpose, within the purpose, certain values are evolving.
Yeah, that means we are normally people are taking, suppose, we became 25 years or 26 years. We are believing that then we are fixed. That is what almost all the people are thinking. We
That's
are not thinking that we are evolving. You told, right? When you were corporate world, you were on particular mindset. When you started your own business, you understand that that mindset is limiting you and you changed it. Correct? So that evolution is happening. That evolution will happen. We do something different. If we do same thing every day, there is no evolution also. So, so how? So I wanted to just tell you that not only this book only I read, I made it. I am publishing another 6 more book this week, next week, and one
oh,
of the
that's
subject
a
is yeah,
congratulations! It's amazing news. Oh my
yeah,
God, 6 books you are publishing this week.
yeah. Next week actually, yeah, 30th April. So
Phenomenal.
the thing is that yeah, one was my interesting subject, because in 2016 I published one book called Joy of Innovation, and my point was I was trying to tell that innovation is our natural skill. It is nothing, we are talking about in corporate. Oh, we wanted to be innovative. No, innovation is our natural skill. Because when you are a small kid, you know what are the innovation you are doing, right? And we can keep on that. That's all. So that was very interesting topic for me. So my next one book is Innovation Edge. How this employee can innovate and they can not survive, they can really thrive in this particular frequent changes, technology upgrade, all the things are happening, but they can really thrive. They are more innovative. So that is what one book. Another book I written when I was a kid, frankly speaking, I never took any advice from anybody.
How it's happening?
I took,
How it's so?
I never took advice from my parents or anybody. I believe that time onwards, I believe that I have the power within.
Very
So
powerful. Oh,
that
that's
is what
really
my,
powerful.
that is what my book, The Light is Inside You.
We don't speak this soft, beautiful word to ourselves. We don't speak when we are meeting with friends in that way. Hey, there is a light in you. We don't have this kind of empowering talks. I love it.
That is true.
Light in you.
Yeah. So I will send you that book, but while you are reading, you need to consider that you are either 12-year-old, 14-year-old girl. You should read in that perspective.
That's
Then
very.
you will understand really. Yeah. So that was, I remembered that actually while writing that book, the light was inside me always. And some point in time, I was in darkness, but I took it back.
You are also writing about unlocking true self and finding the inner power. How we as a human being lost in this jungle of today's world can find our true self, because I believe there will be plenty of filters. How to go through those?
Yep. So the one point I wanted to talk about that with respect to whether it is religion or any other aspect, because we have a tendency that whatever we see only the true. Okay. Now I will tell you one example. How do I found my power within? You might have heard about one spiritual leader is here in India. He's having roots in US also. His name is Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev. So I attended one of his spiritual program, and it was tremendous. You know, you need so much power to withstand that program. So that day when I attended, I came to know that I have so much power. Earlier, I was thinking that I am a weak person because, you know, I was a project manager, but I used to speak only in very small volume. I talk to anybody very small, that way. But when I attended this program, I understood that I have so much power is there within me, and I have to make use of it. So what I am trying to tell you that we cannot, we are not understanding what are the spiritual principles or spiritual tradition we followed, especially India is a country with respect to the spiritual tradition is tremendous. It is more than 50, more than 5,000 years old, and we are forgetting everything. And we are just doing something, and because of that reason only we are not able to understand who we are. So what I am trying to tell you here that life is having different dimension, and if we needed to experiment on that. That is what my principle: research, learn, experiment. If it is working, make part of my life. But sometime, especially with respect to spirituality, my humble request is nobody should experiment alone. They should experiment with somebody very good person, or somebody is an expert, right? Because here all the things are watered. People are simply putting a quote and saying that we are that. That is not true. Because why I am saying that, in 2007, I was going through spiritual practices, and one point in time, checked out. I lost I lost my mental equilibrium. I have been taken to psychiatrist. I needed to go for psychiatrist treatment. All the things happened. So my humble suggestion to anyone that if you are going through any spiritual practices, take it from real masters, not somebody something, right? Otherwise, it will take big, entirely different turn into our life. But that experience taught me so much good things. One good thing is that that experience taught me that we are all interconnected. We are all interconnected, whether human being, whether plants, whether it is animals, everything is interconnected. Even your car can speak to you, your room can speak to you, anything can speak to you. But you have to build that capabilities.
It sounds irrational, right?
Yeah, it sounds
And
irrational,
most probably
but
for many will sound as if, what is he talking about? My room is talking to me. But actually, there is this kind of feeling when you enter the room, you have this immediate sparkle. Either you feel comfortable or you don't feel comfortable.
that
There
is true.
is so many. You are visiting a restaurant, you are visiting someone's house, you don't feel comfortable at some place, and you go to another place, and it can be very empty apartment, and you feel really relaxed, safe, and I didn't think about that from that perspective, as you said, of interconnections.
Yes.
Um,
All are interconnected. I'm telling you, you can make anything possible. Anything. But you have to build that capability.
and I think also for me, it will be very crucial to have the vision, to have a vision what I want to do with my own life. And it doesn't have to be big thing. People immediately quite often are thinking the purpose must be big, the purpose must be expensive. But it's not about that. It's like you say, building something together in a relationship, building the family. Oof, that's something. Building a family, it's so difficult thing because it's a commitment on completely different level. Like you were mentioning about the Stephen Covey from the author of the book, right? That they were making the relationship, the marriage, 40 years together. It's the heavy work. It's the triple shift. You go for the work, you do one shift, but around a home, building a healthy family, it's not an easy task.
Yeah, I just wanted to give one example, the building of family, right? I was learning about Kennedy family, and that ex-president's mother, how she brought up, all the kids in her family. What she was saying that I am building future leaders for the world. That is what she was saying. I am building the future leaders for the world. That's all.
So simple message.
So simple message. So it is not about how big thing and all, but how tuned to ourselves and how we make that possible. Whether it is, I was attending one training, and one lady was talking. She consecutively in 11 years in US, she was the one of the best broker in real estate. And her purpose was only one thing. She wanted to raise his kid wonderful way. That's all, nothing else. And she was consecutively earning the best real estate broker in US. Her reason is simple, purpose is very simple. She wanted to raise his kid. That's all, nothing else. It is up to us. What is our purpose?
How do we
Yeah.
spend the time? What kind of value we create, either watching Netflix or having the purposeful conversation with the family members, the quality time. And also something quality time, it got this kind of image that it has to be something exclusive. It has to be something, wow, the trip to Thailand, the trip to Dubai. But no, it can be just a walk to a park and having good ice cream from the
So
local shop.
simple walk, not just walk. How many people are watching sunrise? Do you watch sunrise?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, I do.
So, but
But
what a beautiful thing, right?
from
If
my
we are,
windows, from my windows, I cannot miss the sunrise or when the sun goes down, because my windows are just. I love the apartment where we are living because the sun was waking me up, or I say hello to sun in the morning and in the evening. And sometimes I find myself standing, in the window and looking at that, in the moment, the peaceful moment, connection with myself, with world, with my purpose. It's so empowering. The moment of
you just
silence.
need, you just need only 1 minute, right? Less than 1 minute itself, right?
And sometimes with my son, we will stand at the window, and oh my God, do you see the colors? Because the colors, when the sun goes down, it has violet, it has purple, it has pinkish colors, and we can discuss about the colors. And that's the
So
quality
that is
of the
very true.
moment.
But how many people are enjoying that moments? We are, we are busy, 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 not ready to stop, not ready to pause 1 minute and enjoy these things.
When you speak about those various ways how we can navigate ourselves to find ourselves back, how the framework dolphin can help us
Dolphin
with it.
framework, Dolphin framework is really a game changer. It changed my life because I I found this framework in 2007 or 2008, the Dolphin framework. The symbol, the premise was that I was working in Computer Sciences Corporation that time, and they had a framework called change of domains. Domains of change. So what does it mean? That they had put 6 parameters, 6 areas. If we concentrate only the 6 areas, we can run the business. That is what their notion. And that way they were successful. That time when I was joining, it was a very big company, CSC. So I just thought that if that business can be run in that manner, then how can we run our life? So then I came to the conclusion that I came up with the dolphin model. The one is with respect to wellness. Another I call it as that is spirituality, the connectedness universe. Another is connectedness, people, pets, and organization or families. Then next I brought the concept that is what the real game changer that is called space book. So I brought this concept called space book. So normally everyone will say to us that sky is the limit, but I believe that we can go beyond sky, we can go to space. That is what really matter. That is what now Elon Musk also doing, right? How we will go beyond space. So in reality, the spacebook concept, we will take us to an entirely new level, our capabilities. So the S represents skills. Okay, that is what we normally build our skill, right? I build a project management skill, or now I am learning sales, now I am learning marketing. But there is another thing, is something is natural to every human being. So one thing I observed, that my natural skill is, one is learning, another is teaching. But this learning and teaching, I was never using my job that much. But once I started to use it, learning and teaching, my life is actually changing. So, like that, the people have different capabilities. They may be singing, they may be a writer, they may be better in sports. But what they are doing, they are not care about that capabilities. They forget about it and they are doing something. In reality, what is happening, that suppose you have a plastic bottle, you pour hot water on the bottle, what will happen? The bottle will shrink, right? If you pour hot water into the plastic bottle, the bottle will shrink.
Yeah.
Then its capability will be limited. That is what any human being, when he is not using his abilities, his natural talent. So people will think, I'm a project manager. What is the fun if I am singing? But when you sing and you do project manager, you are bringing your own identity, your own authenticity. People are not thinking about that. That can make big difference in their life,
Yeah.
because you are a team meeting, you are singing a song, and people loved it. Next day onwards, what will happen? They
They
will
will
simply
say
do
you
their
are
project manager.
happy.
Huh? Then
That's
next day
but
onwards,
that's the societal actually the societal impact. We are afraid to be authentic because there is too much judgment. Yes, so if you would be starting singing, most probably everybody would look, are you okay? Shall we call ambulance for you or something like that?
that is true. That is true. Yeah, but now I think that is what I love this new generation. They don't care about anybody.
And I
They
love it.
wanted to sing, they will sing. They wanted to sing, they will sing.
I love
They
it.
wanted to, yeah. So they
It's
are
completely different
purely
level of
authentic. Yeah, they are completely different level.
confidence. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So,
So actually, we needed to learn from them how to be authentic. That's what my observation.
and it's actually like we are talking about that, learning from new generations. It is an amazing way, even for us, older generations, to activate our lateral thinking, because we are driven the way
Yes,
how it should be done. Yet they are challenging, the new generation is challenging our principles because they are doing upside down things. And like you said, they
yes,
don't care what they think. If I want to sing, I will sing, because they are driven with completely different values, which I believe, okay, there are some norms, but it's very healthy. At the end, they are themselves, they are truly themselves. From that perspective, when we are going through self-awareness, because this is all about self-awareness, we can learn and start using the knowledge if we are activating again the self-awareness, because there will be lots of people who are, oh yeah, I know that it's not cool with me, but, and here we are not speaking about that loud, we are too lazy to do something about that. So first of all, we do not run the change, we are not correcting ourselves, we are keep going the same way how we do, regardless how unhappy that makes us. But you speak in the book also about the leadership in the organizations. So if on the, we are already observing on the personal level, there are so many people that are lost, let's say it kindly, are lost. They are going to the work and they are leaders. What makes leaders today truly purpose driven?
First thing is we have to be self-aware. We have to accept ourselves. That is the starting point. We have to be self-aware. We have to accept ourselves. Whether we have skill, we don't have skill, we have weakness, we have to accept. When we are able to accept it, then only we can be a true purposeful, purpose-driven leader. Otherwise, we cannot.
Leader is the one human being, and usually they are operating in the companies. How do you think the companies can align the individual purpose with organizational collective vision? Because this is what I believe it's missing.
Okay. Yeah, that is really a great question. And ideally, all organization needs to find an answer for this question. So for that, I came up with a simple framework called H raised to 4. H raised to 4. That means H into H into H into H. Okay. So what does it mean? That when an organization is formed, they should have clearly aware that that leader, it is the leader, the leadership team needs to define that what is the purpose and what are the value they are going to carry. That has to be clearly, they have to be make aware to everyone. This is where our purpose, this is where the value we wanted to carry. That is the first step. So I will call it as higher purpose. Next is we need to use our head for something. We have to create a vision for our future. So that is next step. And that vision has to be communicated to the hearts. So we needed to bring a, we needed to inspiring story or whatever the storytelling method or whatever the thing, we needed to take this purpose and vision into the hearts of the employee. Once that is there, we can get their hands to make it that possible.
Why it's not happening? Why leadership is failing?
Leadership is failing. The problem is that when that somebody started the organization and they were the founders and they were running, and later point in time somebody else has come, they became leaders, but they never connected to what this guy started, right? You take the situation in IBM. When that owner, IBM founder started, what is the value he was carrying, that were not able to match with the people came after. And that is where all the troubles happened in IBM. That is what happening in every organization. So how the problem is, how do we communicate? How do we make sure that that founder purpose is still valuable and it is getting into the heart of the people? That is what every organization needs to do. For that, they should study about their own organization instead of now what is happening. Now they are okay. We have our organization. We needed to make profit. We wanted to find out something. We have to do something. That way it is operating. Instead of they needed to think that we had a founder. He started this organization with this purpose in mind, and we needed to connect it back. That is what basically in our families also we needed to follow the same. We have started a family, our grandparents or whatever, we needed to connect back to that family. We have to that connection, we cannot be separated from them. There is no existence. We are not able to remember them. You understand what I am saying, right?
Yeah,
It is absolutely true for our any organization also. But here things are happening. We have a target. We have to, our share price is this much. So we have to do this much. That way things are working. But that way, any human organization will not work in that way. Those are purpose driven. They needed to connect it back to the purpose.
What disturbs me the most, most of organizations are using huge labels saying that the employees are their biggest assets. That statement, I have never been a fan. When it came to the public, it was like years ago. And then almost every single organization was just saying, our employees are our biggest asset. Whereas I understand my asset are my money, my resources, the tools that I do have in the organization.
I just wanted to add one thing. This is what my observation. If we speak something, then that is not true. If I speak something, that is really not true then. Without speaking, we have to show that.
Here again, we are going back to integrity. The spoken word
Yeah, correct.
and word in
So
action.
basically, so I will tell you one simple example. If any organization CEO is saying we are employee first, why he needed to tell that? That is my first question. Why should he has to say that? Why should he say that one to the press? What is the use? Why should? If he is taking care of employee, that employees themselves will be spoken, right?
This is also what scares me. The leadership became some kind of a show about making someone to shine. Yet for me, leadership is about making employees to shine while you are standing behind the scene. In going back,
That
what
is
I
very
have just
true. Yeah, so if you look at my book, right, I defined something called a connected leadership. And somebody is a connected leader. Basically, he is a servant leader. So basically, the point is, the leader capability. How do we bring the best from other people? That's all.
That's all. Not me, but you. Yeah, the focus, the attention. As John Maxwell is saying about the attitude. Yeah, what kind of attitude we do have when we are running the role of a leader. So what is speaking through us? Bad ego or good ego? And like I mentioned, all these emblems, employees are our best assets, most important assets. But then I'm going to the organization, I'm asking employees, okay, what did you learn last year? Nothing. We don't have budget for the training. Okay, but you have leaders, so leader doesn't teach, right? And the focus is at the end of the day on the KPIs, on the targets, on the money, how much we are earning, yet not on the people. And how also think that leaders know very little about their employees. And like you are mentioning about creating the alignment between the personal vision, the personal desires, and organizational. You are telling us to know the people, but leaders do not know their people. How can I grow employee if I don't know his personal desires?
That is true. So it has to be integrated. Our personal and professional, how do we integrate? That's what the real magic is going to happen. That's what my belief. So in my essence, every leader has to be a coach. That is what the new world required. How leaders has to be a coach. They can find greatness in other people. They can cultivate that greatness in other people. They are just a torch bearers, nothing else.
Some time ago it came to my mind, being a leader, it's like being a parent, but in a different environment. Because we as a parent, it's somehow the role that we are not taught, by the way. We are just driven by nature. We want to have a family, and part of the family are kids. But we do not have pedagogical education. We do not have the doctoral, being a medical doctor education. We are parents by nature, and we will do mistakes during that path. The leadership is like a parenting, but having that leverage of having access to specific knowledge that we can use.
I was reading something related to Nelson Mandela. So he was talking about the rituals they used to follow, their family or their tradition. His father, everybody will be together, but his father never speak. He will make other people to speak. Okay. So that was the leadership they were showing them. But here in our companies, what is happening? Whether employees having voice to speak or leader will say, come and say all the thing put into his head, right? Other people head. So, because that he was saying, what I am understanding from Mandela's that particular thing that is the way, he brought up, defined the leadership. So how we give value, how we will give voice to other people and change all the game.
The learnings,
Yes.
teachings that you are sharing with us, is this what we can find in your framework, QLX, Quantum Lead in X?
Yeah. So what my observation is that when we are authentic, we can take our life to an entirely different level. We can really fly. We can really.
We just
Anybody
need to
can.
trust
I
it.
have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that people doesn't have. They are blind. They are doing amazing thing in their life. One person, very much inspired me. His name is Eric Wienmeyer. He conquered almost all the mountain peaks, including Everest. He's a blind guy.
And we still keep
Now,
complaining, right?
correct. Then still we keep complaining about all the situation. He was a blind, he conquered Everest. Then what else we cannot do? That is what my question.
Even the sky is not the limit.
Sky is not limit. The limit, we are far, far beyond we can go. And I wanted to say that this is what something I am learning. Actually, Earth is a very small place. We have to play game in another places. That is what our coming generation will prove that, I am sure. And Earth is a very small place.
They're definitely, it's a small place, yet big enough for all of us
Yeah, that is
to
true.
be
That is true.
ourselves. And it's just a matter of being, like you said, yeah, in your book, to find your true self. And people sometimes are saying, I want to be free. I want to be free from having this baggage of expectations that other people are having towards me. But what makes them feel the way is that they are not honest to themselves. They are not living this authentic world. And I'm not saying, okay, I am becoming authentic, I am leaving my husband, I am leaving my home, I'm going to live my authentic world. It's not about that, because you can still be with your family. It's just developing together. You can grow together, developing even the self-awareness, doing the exercises all together. Within the book, is there any lesson that you did not bring to the book, yet you believe the leaders should know about?
Okay. One thing that I call it as surrender, because I do believe that there is something, something we needed to more understand, we needed to experience more. And our life is something orchestrated by him. or whatever it is. And when we surrender, not in the place of weakness, from the place of strength, from the place of confidence, we can do so much thing. That is what I am sure. That is what I am experiencing. Once we surrender, we can really see that there is a magic, there is miracles in our life. I'm prepared. I'm getting prepared for that actually. That's what I can say at this moment. I
It's
don't know
good.
how it
So
will
kind
be,
of,
but
we do have a practice of manifestation. That is true. It's really, really true. Once we are letting go, and of course the stress, the fear, that's the human nature. If we do have, it doesn't mean we are bad. The point is
no,
not to let control us.
we needed to see that our weakness is actually our strength. And sometime our strength also weakness. Strength became weakness. So we needed to see that really, because in COVID time, I was very much fearful. I don't know, people are dying, right? So I got really scared. I was in deep fear. But when I came out from the fear, then I am more powerful.
As you say within the book, play the bigger game. This is where the change game is coming.
Definitely. Because the current world required somebody to play bigger game.
And you play a big game, Biju. You play a really big game, and I'm so happy that we get connected, that we are having, I can say we are building a great relationship, and we will not know where it will, we are not knowing where it will take us, but I'm really grateful for the experience that we do have right now, that I can be a part of your journey, of your book, your wisdom that you are sharing, your learnings, and definitely I will be practicing your frameworks, because that's the continuous learning we shall follow, right? That's the number one framework, continuous learning. What will be your message to our audience and everybody that is watching us, listening?
So basically, I wanted to say that we needed to awaken the power within us and use that power to do something extraordinary, to lighten up, especially so much people are living in distress. How do we lighten up their life? And we can be a light for them. So awaken your inner power.
Some books speaks to your mind. Some awaken your soul. This one is here to remind you who you really are. And this is from book of Biju Kannappan that will be launched 30th of April. And we just stay excited, thrilled. The book will be published, and definitely it's the book that we need to have in 2025. So I have stolen that from your book, but I hope you agree, because I find it very powerful. When I read that, I said, no, I take it. I take it to share it.
Actually, that words, right? I remembered about my childhood. As I told you, I lived in my childhood without anybody's guidance, with my own guidance.
Mm.
And that is possible for everyone, right? Not only for me. That doesn't mean that I don't love anybody else also. I love everyone. But I can live my own way, but loving each other. That is the true possibility. But I can lead my life. Every people, every child should know that they have the light inside. I lived that way in my life. That is why I put it in this book, that word, I am remembering, we are remembering. That's all.
I am inspired. I'm inspired with everything what you have said. I am inspired by this connection. I'm inspired by the book and the wisdom you are sharing there, because it's not the regular book like many others. The book, first of all, it's very easy to go through, and it's actually directly engaging me to do the work. You just nailed that, and thank you for it.
Actually, I wanted to thank you, Magdalena, because I was thinking that anybody can understand my book. That's what these many days I was thinking about it. But you have shown me that somebody is there to understand what I have written. Somebody is there to not only just understand, to experience in reality. I'm very thankful to you, because I feel at least something, my book can bring something to the world. Thank you so much,
It will bring.
Magdalena. Thank you. Thank you.
It will definitely bring. And I am talking about this book around, and definitely once it's launched, many people will go for it and shall go for it. Not only adults, kids, parents, everyone, because you need to remember, as Biju says, there is a light in you. No matter in what dark place you might be right now, there is a light in you, and you are the author of your life. Enlighten it now. Thank you very much, Biju.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
And thank you everyone who are with us right now watching. Please share in comments your experience, your thoughts, and yeah, just wait with us for the book coming around. Let me read the title again. Discover your purpose, driven, inspired vision. Elevate your life and play the bigger game. You have that light, play the bigger game. Thank you, Biju. And congratulations for your success. And yeah, I am the fan. I will call it. I am the fan number 2. After your family, I am the fan number 2.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I believe let us make something extraordinary together. We have to find.
We already do.
Yeah.
We already do.
Yeah.
We are sparkling. You are fire. We are firing people with the great light. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.